Okay.
First, I created a variable A which had a number. I then created a variable B, as you can see in the hinting, which contains a string. Anything written in quotes, either
Yeah.
single or double quotes, is a string. This number, strings, these are data types which you hold, data type of the data which you hold either in variables or constants. Data types. We have 5 to 6 data types in programming. We have number, we have strings, we have booleans, we have arrays, objects, null, undefined. I'll give you examples of each one. This X variable is of type number. Why? Because the value it holds is a number.
और अगर मैं इसी 100 को कोलन में कर आई मीन उसमें कर दूं
डेसिमल्स में ना
नहीं वो
कोट्स में, वो मैं बता रहा हूँ. हाँ वो बता. दिस इज अ नंबर. Similarly, this is also a number. In C, C++, Java, the data type of X would have been integer, data type of Y would have been float. That means two different types of data types determine whether the number had a decimal or number had not. In JavaScript, both of these are numbers. There is no difference between a decimal and a non-decimal value. तो यहाँ हमारा काम आसान होता है. This is also a number for JavaScript, and similarly, this is also a number for JavaScript. To answer your question, what if I had put that 100 in quotes? Let's say if I have this, the data type of X will be string because it contains something in quotes. Similarly, the data type of Y will also be a string because although it contains 100, but that 100 is in a string. Anything in a quote, anything in a quote is a string. Quotes can be single or double. That does not matter at all. If it would have been something like this, then also it would have been a string. Single quotes, double quotes से कोई फर्क नहीं. I think that was the question कि क्या होगा इसका? इसका आंसर अभी भी string ही रहेगा.
हाँ बिल्कुल.
String can contain spaces. ऐसा नहीं है कि space नहीं आ सकता. मैंने मेरे नाम में स्पेस दिया है. स्पेस भी स्ट्रिंग होता है. एनीथिंग इन कोट्स इज अ स्ट्रिंग. अभी भी ये स्ट्रिंग है, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Booleans are very simple. We have only two values in Booleans, true or false. This variable P is a Boolean. Similarly, this is also a Boolean. Please note, now it's not a Boolean, it's a
string.
Yes, this was a Boolean, this wasn't.
Yeah.
Similarly, this was a Boolean, this wasn't. Boolean only has two values, either true or false, no third value. All these variables, X, Y here, X, Y, Z here, P, Q here, they contained a single piece of information. This only contained a name, this only contained a number, this also only contained a name, this Boolean true and false. What if I wanted to store names of 100 students? Let's say I wanted to store the names of all my students. Currently, I have about 60 to 70 students. A single variable by default can only hold a single piece of information. Arrays, by definition, are variable containing multiple values. Across all programming, this is the constant definition of an array. A single variable containing multiple values is an array. Difference This is also a interview question. Difference in an array in C and difference in an array in JavaScript is very simple. In C or in C++ or Java, arrays are homogeneous. Do you understand the term homogeneous?
Yeah, homogeneous means same thing.
Yes. In JavaScript, arrays can be heterogeneous. This simply means in C or C++ or Java, if one value in an array was a number, all values had to be numbers. That is not the case with JavaScript. JavaScript, a JavaScript array at the same time can contain numbers, can contain some strings, can contain Boolean, can contain anything. We won't be discussing array today in detail, just to give you an idea. This is an array. This is how you describe an array in JavaScript.
And this is also in Python also, but नाम कुछ difference होता है क्योंकि
एरे हर लैंग्वेज में होते हैं. पाइथन में इनको सेट या डिक्शनरी बोलते हैं.
हाँ हाँ
यहाँ पे नाम अलग है. ऐसे ही ऑब्जेक्ट आएगा. पाइथन में ऑब्जेक्ट भी होते हैं, नाम अलग है. एरे एन ऑब्जेक्ट तो ऐसा कॉन्सेप्ट है जो हर प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज में होता है. हर लैंग्वेज में किसी कोई प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज एरे ऑब्जेक्ट के बिना फंक्शन ही नहीं करती. In C, this was a perfectly fine array. And in JavaScript also, this is a perfectly fine array. It has 4 values. All of them are strings. However, if I were to do something like this in C, C would have gone crazy. You cannot do this. Because in C, arrays were homogeneous. This is not a
So if we
homogeneous
are
array.
entering string, that we have to enter only string only. We
Homogeneous का
cannot
मतलब
enter
ही होता
numbers.
है नहीं, या तो सारे स्ट्रिंग होंगे या सारे नंबर
हाँ
होंगे या सारे बूलियन होंगे. जावास्क्रिप्ट को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
okay.
I can have strings, I can have numbers, I can have booleans, I can have anything you want in array, even numbers with decimals. In
Okay,
JavaScript, arrays
there is
are
a
heterogeneous.
one question that is like out of this thing. वो एक्चुअली मेरा एक इंटरव्यू था, तो उसमें मुझे ये समझ में कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन जावास्क्रिप्ट and JSON. Although I know what is JSON, it's a JavaScript oriented notation. Now the three things are related with Java. Now what is this difference? The main difference.
Can you tell me the difference between a car and a carpet?
I mean car and a carpet. Car
Other,
and a carpet.
other
Car.
than the name, do they have anything in common?
No.
That is the answer when someone asks you what is the difference between Java and JavaScript. Other than the name, they have nothing in common. सिर्फ नाम एक जैसा है. हनी और हनीमून में जो डिफरेंस है, कार और कारपेट में जो डिफरेंस है, वही जावा और जावास्क्रिप्ट में डिफरेंस है. अगर if you have to put it in a professional manner, Java is a high level programming language, while JavaScript is a scripting language. If you want to put it in programming terms, this is the exact difference. JavaScript is not.
JSON.
एक मिनट रुको. JavaScript
Okay.
is not a full-fledged programming language.
Okay.
We can write programs in it, but
Okay.
the way that program will be understood by the computer is very different from the way any C, C++, or Java program is understood by the system. Those are high-level programming languages. JavaScript is a scripting language. We write scripts in JavaScript. We write programs in Java or C or C++. To put it in programming terms, this is the difference. In layman terms, except the name, nothing is similar. JSON, on the other hand, to give you an example of JSON which you'll remember. Let's say you went to Germany. Very few people in Germany understand English, and obviously almost negligible people will understand Hindi.
Yeah.
Then if you want to strike a conversation with any German,
Either I have to know German or English.
Either you'll have to know German, either or he'll have to know English.
Yeah.
Or let's assume that both of you know a third language.
Yeah.
That third language will be JSON. Or in programming terms, is JSON. To give you another example, let's say you went to any village in southern India. They don't understand Hindi very much, especially not in rural areas. Let's say you don't understand Tamil or any other language, and they don't understand Hindi. Then naturally, both of you will be talking in English, no matter how fluent. They'll also understand Hindi. They'll also understand. They'll also be speaking a broken English. You will also be speaking in English. What English will be to both of you, JSON is on the internet between two websites. JSON is the way for two websites to communicate with each other, for two servers to communicate with each other, for two servers to exchange information.
Okay.
Is JSON. Two websites, when they communicate with each other, they don't communicate in PHP or Java or C++ or JavaScript. Both of them convert their data into JSON, which is transferred over the internet from one party to the other. The other party then converts it into its own language. And when the other party wants to send data to the first party, it will convert its data into JSON, which will be transmitted over the internet. The first party will then convert it into its very own language. That is what JSON is. JSON is just a communication medium for two servers on the internet. JSON is not a programming or a scripting language, just a way of communication. And the full form is JavaScript. Sorry.
JavaScript or
JavaScript
object or
object
notation.
notation.
Yeah.
JSON is although similar to JavaScript object, not same.
Okay.
So we were talking about data types. This is an array, a
Yeah.
heterogeneous array. Similarly, we have something known as an object. Again, objects are also very, very common across languages. Python has objects by the name of dictionaries.
Yeah.
This is what is known as an object. By definition, objects are collection of key and value pairs. We won't be going deep into objects because we will be dedicating 2 to 3 classes especially to objects, not today. When it comes to working with data types in our programs, these will be what we will be dealing with: objects, arrays, booleans, strings, and numbers. However, JavaScript has some special data types as well, many of which are just related to interview questions. इनमें से interview questions बनते हैं, practically आप ज़्यादा काम इन पे नहीं करोगे.
Okay.
One is undefined. Programming में practically आप इसका कभी यूज नहीं करोगे. But interview question कैसे बनते हैं? एक सवाल मैं पूछ रहा हूं आपसे. What do you think the data type is of variable x?
Number.
Yes, and you told me number by looking at its value, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly. What if I ask you what is the data type of x now?
Now,
of course, you will be stumped.
basically, we haven't put it in anything. I mean, not a string, not a number. So it
Yes,
is not
and this
defined.
condition, yes, in this condition, a variable data type in JavaScript is undefined. When you haven't supplied a value, a variable, then any and any converts to undefined. आपसे ये सवाल पूछा जाएगा बहुत इंटरव्यू में कि इसका डेटा टाइप क्या है. all you have to say is it's undefined.
Okay.
Undefined का practically और कोई यूसेज नहीं है. प्रोग्रामिंग में हम कभी undefined यूज नहीं करेंगे.
Yeah.
हाँ, ऐसे भी पूछा सकता है कि इसका टाइप क्या है. इसका टाइप भी undefined.
Okay.
null, something which does not exist, that
Yeah.
is null. There is a slight difference between a blank and a null. Blank, that something used to exist, now doesn't. Null,
Doesn't exist.
yes, which never existed or which doesn't exist, that is null, which you cannot define,
Mm.
that is null. अगेन प्रैक्टिकली इसका कोई यूसेज नहीं है,
Okay.
बट अगर आपसे पूछा जाता है कि इसका डेटा टाइप क्या है, यू हैव टू से दिस इज नल ओनली. प्रैक्टिकली हम कभी यूज नहीं करते इसका कुछ.